Now, I don't want to say that this entire thing is surprising. And in fact, you could very well put in the comment section of this video, Lego, yeah, of course that's what happened. Of course. It would make no sense otherwise if this wasn't the case. But now, I feel like we gotta go out there and at least make this video to cover our bases and to say that this is what happened. Because today we're talking about the Vancouver Canucks, we're talking about the 3rd overall pick, and we're talking about whom it looks like the team actually wanted to take instead of Caleb Malhotra. Obviously, you saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. By the looks of things, it looks like the Vancouver Canucks really wanted to take Stenberg. And the reason we know this is because of Vancouver's new draft video that they posted on their social media, and this particular clip of the 2nd overall draft selection going down. Here's Ryan Johnson. He's got Emily Castonguay to his right. You can see Cami Granato. You can see Todd Harvey. By the way, Cami Granato taking on a new role in the Vancouver Canucks organization. That's a topic for another day. But in this video clip, it is the moment that the San Jose Sharks went out there and selected Ivar Stenberg with the 2nd overall draft selection. And the moment the pick is made, you can see the body language in the Vancouver Canucks room looking a very particular way. It's a lot more apparent when you watch the actual video rather than just scrolling through frames like we are doing over here. But the question is even asked, hey, is everybody good? Everybody good? You can interpret this, obviously, as, are you all good with taking Caleb Malhotra? But also, you could interpret it by watching the video by saying, hey, is everybody okay? Like, Ivar Stenberg is gone. He went 2nd overall. Now we have to pivot. Just based off of the body language, though, it's very obvious that a lot of these Canucks executives were interested in that 2nd overall going Ivar Stenberg. And it does seemingly calm the nerves a little bit. It does qualm those ideas that said, hey, the Vancouver Canucks really like Caleb Malhotra. They might take him even if Stenberg is available. Stenberg could be going number 4 to Chicago, which was a conversation for a bit. Oh, could Bedard and Stenberg have some sort of a connection there? But then the 4th overall pick was traded over to Buffalo, and then Stenberg went 2nd. San Jose did not end up taking a defenseman. They just said, hey, let's just take Stenberg, we'll trade Eklund, and then we'll do what we need to do. We'll get Darnell Nurse and sign Jacob Trouba. How does that sound? That was the plan for San Jose. Chase Reid, the guy that a lot of us thought would have gone 2nd overall, ended up going to the Seattle Kraken much, much later. Like, the fact that we thought he was going to be a top 4 guaranteed player, but then he dropped to 7, and he was the 4th defenseman taken off the board, that's a pretty big shock. The San Jose Sharks then also took Keaton Verhoeff with the 9th overall pick. So there was their defenseman. Verhoeff, arguably a 1st overall caliber talent in the eyes of some, ends up going number 9 to San Jose. The Sharks did some really good work. They also picked up Ryan Lynn in the middle part of the 1st round. Shout out to Ryan Lynn. I got some friends who know him. Richmond guy, of course. But just seeing the Vancouver Canucks and their collective disappointment when Stenberg's name was called is very noticeable. Understandably so. Excited for Caleb, but the Canucks still got screwed over in this year's lottery. They finished dead last in the standings by miles and had a historically bad season, yet they missed out on both McKenna and Stenberg. What a joke! Ibrahim has a good point, but then again, that's exactly how a draft lottery works. Well, I won't say they didn't get screwed over, but we know that this is the status of how these things go down. If you go over and look at the post activity, all of the replies are essentially going out there and indicating the same thing. Just going off of the body language after the Sharks make their selection, it just feels like the Canucks had Stenberg as their pick if he was available. Which does go out there and calm down some of these nerves that some folks were saying, hey, if Stenberg is there and the Canucks go with Caleb Malhotra, it would be the ultimate positionally drafted move. They wouldn't be taking the best player available. They would have been taking the guy who fulfills a need. And that is a sin in the 3rd overall spot. We saw what happened with Montreal and Jesperi Kotkaniemi back in 2018. We saw what happened with some of these other 3rd overall picks, rather than just taking the guy that a lot of us would say had higher potential. Has Elite Prospects updated their texturing on the banner behind the nameplate? Oh, that's really cool. Ivar Stenberg, I guess because he is a pro player, he has this cool little gradient on the background of his nameplate over here. But either way, there was this idea floating around that if Stenberg was available, the Canucks would still go with Malhotra. A lot of folks were going out there and saying to me personally that they would prefer that to not happen. Like, if Malhotra is the pick, it better have been McKenna Stenberg at 1-2. If Chase Reid or somebody else goes 2, Stenberg should be a Vancouver Canuck. Who cares if he's not a center? He is the best player available in that spot. But at the very least, it does seem like, based off of the body language of this video, Vancouver was prepared to take Ivar Stenberg 2nd overall had he just been there. And they seemed very disappointed when San Jose made the pick to take him away. Another reply goes out there and says, 100% the body language and communication didn't really give off the feeling of, we got our guy. It felt more like, the guy we wanted didn't fall to us. Sean Bowie says, it very much looks that way, for sure. I doubt it, but maybe that will make the extremely vocal part of the fanbase who prematurely freaked out over our franchise saying that it's doomed because they were going to take Malhotra over Stenberg feel better. Gosh, what a sentence. You just got to trust the process, trust the structuring of the first half, and hope that there is a verb at the very end. JWO Vancouver says, I think we all need to remember that any speculation on who they will or won't take is just that, speculation. And even if you might know what they are thinking at one point, the draft board is a very fluid thing. Hey, you can tell that to us, right? Like, heading into the draft, there was all this talk about Caleb Malhotra, but then, like, right before the draft actually began, maybe like 2 or 3 days beforehand, we started hearing a lot more info. Oh, I don't think the Canucks are going to take Malhotra. I think they're going to take Reid. We were hearing, like, okay, it's probably going to be McKenna, maybe Stenberg, and then Reid. Or McKenna, maybe Verhoeff, and then Reid. Or McKenna, maybe even Malhotra, and then Reid. Jeff Merrick said that some teams had Caleb Malhotra ranked as high as potentially number 2. So it would have made sense if that was the possible outcome there, but nah, we ended up seeing what I think everybody thought we would have been seeing for the entire draft year, it seems. McKenna, Stenberg. And then Verhoeff drops to number 9? Like, that's kind of ridiculous. But either way, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this revealed video that essentially showcases that the Vancouver Canucks were wanting Ivar Stenberg? That was the guy they were going to take at 3 had he been available. It settles a lot of unresolved trauma within this franchise's fan base. People upset that the team took Olio Levy over Matthew Tkachuk in 2016. Hopefully, this recent draft pick of Caleb Malhotra is not a mistake to that same magnitude 10 years later, but it does go to show that the Canucks do feed into some of the more common opinions that people held heading into the NHL draft. So, thoughts in the comment section below. Vancouver wanted Stenberg. They couldn't get him. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.